Tom, why don't you tell me, first of all, what you started with, because this looks like nothing I've seen before.
I started with a 1984 Grand Prix. It was a very nice car. It was actually came out of California, then was purchased in Ontario, and so I started with an 84 and chopped it all apart and ended up with this.
Well, you sure did chop it all apart, and in fact, I said I've never seen anything like this before, and yet at the same time, it looks like a lot of things I've seen before. Where did you get the inspiration for the lines, the length, the style that went into this thing? Because I see some Art Deco, I see some pre-Art Deco influences here. There's a lot of, there's a lot of classic lines in this car.
Well, I sort of started with a picture of a Bugatti. You know, I seen the Gilt. They built that Bugatti on TV, and I thought, I could build something similar to that. So I took a picture of that and a few other European cars, and then just started. When I actually tore the car apart, took the complete body off, I put a 2x4 up along just to get that line. And so I sat a 2x4 on the floorboard going up and propped it up, and I finally got the line I wanted, and I thought, there's my car. So I just went from that 2x4 and started building it.
Well, and everything on this car is metal front to back, is that right?
That's correct there, yes. That's 5 sheets of 4x10 16 gauge steel makes a car.
So all of this is like it's handcrafted. So you're starting with this idea in your head, and then you're just cutting the sheet metal, taking it, bending it, and molding the sheet metal to suit your taste.
Yes, I was lucky. My nephew works at a shop where they have a press and stuff, so he helped me form, as far as the fenders, the one bend in it to get the curve, and then I could just cut everything up from there and do the three-dimensional bend to it, or the curve to it. And
making this whole thing work had to be a big challenge, because it looks like you've moved that firewall back. You've really cut this thing up.
It was a lot of work. I wanted that long front end, and to achieve that, I had to move the firewall back 2 feet and actually have everything where you're sitting actually in the back seat. I made a very long engine compartment. I wish I had a V12 for it, because it would go in there perfectly, and maybe someday there will be a V12 in it.
What's in it right now?
It's got a 355 crate, GM engine in it, and so just about 320 horsepower, so nothing huge, but just ample for this car.
Well, it moves along pretty good. We went for a little ride there, and it rides smooth. It's a pretty luxurious and fancy looking car.
It handles well. I'm happy with that. It was being a big car to begin with, as far as the framework and that, it makes it where it does have a nice ride. And one thing, the wheelbase never changed, so that.
But moving everything back, the steering wheel is in a different place, so all that connecting hardware has to change as well. Was there a lot of customization that went into that?
There was. I think the biggest thing was the brake system, to get the new brake lines and stuff, run. But there is knuckles, 2 knuckles, and a 2-foot extension in the steering column to get you to the back seat.
And the hood, the doors, they open on their own.
Yes, they're all air assist. They're all remote control. There's 2 cylinders for every operation. One cylinder unlocks it, and then the other cylinder lifts it. So.
And I think this is kind of becoming your signature on these cars. These lines that you put down the body, the lines that are down the trunk. How do you achieve that? How do you do that?
So this one was just small strips of steel, 1-inch steel that I just bent 90 degree. Then I weld them all in place, and then work from there. But I like the lines. I can just keep adding until everything, the body suits me, and so I just keep adding lines until I say that's it right there. And
makes it look very aerodynamic.
It does. I think it gives it that nice European styling look. And
this is an 84 Grand Prix, but when I look at it, I don't see too much. The mirrors, the instrument cluster, what else is there?
The cluster is there. The shifter is original, and the brake booster is original, and probably everything else is fabricated for it.
Wow. So the seats, racing seats you put in there?
Yes, they were racing seats that I ordered just from Summit there, and I was in Florida one time, and I ordered them and just brought them home. I had a difficult time trying to find seats very narrow, and I never thought of that when I built it. I wanted that really tight, airplane feel, and never realized I had a hard time finding seats that would fit in it after I built it. So.
And you must be thrilled because you've taken this to some car shows. It's debuted just this summer, and you're getting some very positive feedback.
Yes, it was at Fleetwood, and the Bears team, they really loved it there, and my wife and I were sitting, and people would read the little, the board that we have with all the pictures of it, and we heard so many wows. So that's one thing I was telling you earlier there, that every time I walk in my shop still, every morning I can walk in there and think, wow, I like that car. So that's always good.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or think that I might be missing?
Not that I always tell people that if you dream it, you can achieve it. And people don't believe me, but, they just have to get out and try the handiwork, I think.
Just do it.
Yeah. Just
two years of your life went in it.
It's 2 years in this one. People don't believe that, but when I say I do 2 years, I devote 2 years with pretty well every moment of spare time. And it gave a lot of inspiration at Fleetwood. A lot of people were saying, wow, I got to get my project going again now. This just gave me the inspiration to get mine done after seeing this. So that was a good positive note.
Well, there's really just one word that comes to mind for me, and that's congratulations. And thank you so much for sharing the car with us on the show.
I appreciate it there. And like I said, I enjoyed building them. And this will probably be my last for a bit. But then I said that was my spirit. And all of a sudden this one came around. So we never know.